Hello, and welcome to the Wandering Barman, where we explore all things comedy and all things cocktails. On this episode, I'm going to show you how to make a cardamom pisco sour. I'm going to show you how to make some almond syrup, an ode to inebriation, and I'm going to show you how a fire truck can change your whole perspective on life. Let's start the show. Alcohol. It's the one thing that human beings have in common. That and hating at least one of your family members, just one. There's always that one member at the Christmas party that you just detest. If you're sitting there going, I don't hate any of my family members, that's because you're the one they hate. I love alcohol, man. It gives you the confidence to do things that you don't do in sobriety. When you get on the subway, you don't run for the doors as they're closing when you're sober. You don't do that, man. When you've got a couple of drinks in you, you're running down the escalators, kicking babies out the way, starfishing the doors open. It's your train. It's your train. It won't leave until you say so. I think you need it. You need to wake up with the fear. You need to make mistakes. You need the regret. Because if you can deal with the regret, that makes you more emotionally and spiritually in tune with yourself. That makes you a better person. That's you dealing with self-reflection. That's brilliant. If you're the type of person that still makes mistakes and you don't drink, I can't help you. I literally cannot help you. Chris, I made a mistake last night. I don't know what I've done. Were you drunk? No, I wasn't. Well, I can't help you, man. And I can't stand that these people that blame the alcohol for their mistakes. It was the alcohol. I act like such an idiot when I'm on alcohol. That's not the alcohol doing that, man. The alcohol doesn't just magically make you an idiot. It enhances the idiot that you already are. I get it. I don't want to glamorize alcohol too much. It's not for everyone. I get it, it's not for everyone. But neither are beautiful sunny days in the park. I guess the best thing I love about alcohol is that you're always forgiven. Someone says, see you last night, you were ridiculous, embarrassment. You go, I'm sorry, man, I was drunk. And they go, oh, come here then, it's all right, it's fine. It's beautiful. The mojito, simply put, the drink of the douchebags. It's muddling, it's sugar, it's sourcing mint from the back of the fridge that's probably so old, it's kind of stuck to the back of it. But I'm going to show you a way to make a mojito that's going to change your life forever. And we're going to be very generous with our mint leaves. I'm going to put in about 10 of those. And what we're going to do is we're not going to muddle, right? You don't pulverize it into a non-existence. All you're doing is just releasing the flavor. You're just pushing it. You're not pulverizing it. I mean, that's all you need. Second of all, we don't put in grains of sugar. We use a sugar syrup, okay? It's a liquid drink. I don't want little bits of sugar cane coming up into my straw when I'm drinking it. But why not go one better? Why not make a mint syrup? We add 30 mils of this. It's quite a sweet drink, okay? Are we going to sit and muddle some limes? No, we're not. I don't understand why people do this. They get a whole lime, they muddle it. There's like, just use fresh lemon juice. We want to make this nice and citrus. And then comes our alcohol, okay? Now, this is a mojito. We throw in 60 mils. We get our shaker. We prep our glass. Before we put anything in, a nice glass straw. Look at that. It even looks so beautiful already. And now, I'm going to mix up my mojito. Our mint. And just to top it off, a little bit of Ango on top. I mean, guys, it's a mojito. It's nothing spectacular. Oh man, one of my first experiences of being drunk in Germany, I went to a sauna, man. Right, now check this. I don't know everyone gets naked going to the sauna. I had no idea. And this German guy is walking past outside looking in the glass door like, the hell's going on in here? And he can't let it go. He just keeps walking past and he's like looking in, right? And he can't let it go. Now I'm getting freaked out with this, man. I don't know what's going on, right? So he kind of looks in, and you know that way where sauna doors are glass, and he's kind of just got his like genitalia pressed up against the glass door. Taylor, man, it looks like a child sticking his tongue against a car window, right? It's ridiculous. So he basically comes bursting in, busts open the door, and he's like, "Excuse me, you cannot wear your swimming costume here." And I'm like, "Why?" "Because the air is wet. The humid in the air will get to your lungs, you get bronchitis, and you die." I was like, "Give me 2 seconds, right? No, bro, I'll go out and get changed." The guy leans up against the doorway, right? And says, "No, you do it now." I don't know if you've ever been confronted by a naked German man telling you to get naked, but it was the most psychologically disturbing thing that's ever happened to me ever, man. I was just standing there in the middle of the sauna on my own going, just peeling off my swimming costume where this guy was standing there going, "Do it slower." So first experience, man. First experience. The humble fire engine. Therapy for poor people. If you're having a bad day, go follow a fire engine. See where it takes you. Then you might realise that your day isn't quite half as bad as someone else's. A very stressy situation, right? No wonder we all go out to the pub afterwards to relieve that pent-up aggression, getting hounded by your bosses, deadlines from the CEO, and there's probably that weird IT guy that's got a shrine of you in his workplace. The solution? Relieve that stress with the addition of alcohol. This is no ordinary ice cube. It's entirely made of gin. Pop this in a glass, get some tonic water which looks exactly like soda water, put a wee lime wedge inside it. Guess what? When that ice cube melts, you're going to have a perfect gin tonic inconspicuously walking around the place without anyone's knowledge.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
We're recovering alcoholics here. So some respect, yeah.
There's plenty more of these in the freezer, yeah? So, it's my favourite part of the show. I've got my guest barkeeper here, Stevie. Your style is very much prohibition. So you're here to make me one of my favourite cocktails.
Manhattan is classically rye whiskey, red vermouth, and Angostura bitters.
Yeah.
And in this case, you just take out the red vermouth and just rebuild it. Through these substitutes, you get a different taste, a different palate, and you just don't stick to the red vermouth.
I would love it if you could make me your variation on a Manhattan.
So let's have a drink.
Yeah, I'm so happy, okay.
I'm gonna start with chartreuse, French herbal liqueur, 400 years old. I need this in a drink, the aroma, because this is the spirit, the heart of chartreuse. A tiny bit.
A wee titty bit. A wee titty bit.
In this case, we have a second chartreuse they brought up. A group of the best sommeliers of France did it together with the monks of the abbey. This is really awesome shit. The next one is a sweet cherry. So you got still your grapes, but it's giving more kind of a dried raisiny touch, let's say. And the sweetness. The next step is I'm gonna add some raspberry vinegar. It's a Manhattan, so we need whiskey. To split that up, now you get peat and salt.
So we're using Lefroy quarter cask.
Quarter cask, yeah. Now we're just gonna add Angostura bitters and just a tootsie bit of orange bitters.
Oh, a tootsie bit. Like it. Okay, cool.
Now we're just gonna split that up.
If we put ice in that, that drink is going to totally overflow and it's going to get way too diluted way too quickly. I mean, I'm Scottish, I'm not a slow drinker. I mean, it's a kind of catch-22 right there, to be honest.
And then we just gently twist with the orange zest.
Oh, my friend, thank you. Look at this. Cheers, man. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
It's really well balanced. The sherry really comes through, if I'm honest. It's really oaky.
Of course it's a stiff drink.
Yeah, Stevie is an absolutely wonderful bartender, and this is his variation on a Manhattan, which is called
Abbeys and Barrels.
There is simply just too much dishonesty and distrust in the world, right? There's too many people trying to get you to look over here while deceivingly doing something to you over here. Perfect example is Boris Johnson. If there's anyone in the world that does so little but makes it look like a lot, it's this guy, right? See, if Boris Johnson was a street performer, he'd be one of these living statues on the high street. You know, the type that just like stay still for ages and don't do anything but make it look really impressive, right? And he'd even go one better. He'd actually convince some poor passerby to do the job for him, right? Some guy that's just walking by like, I had no intention of being a living statue today. And he'd still take like 90% of your earnings. In fact, do you know what he'd be? He'd be that guy that'd be trying to come across as all cool, like, hey, go for a lunch break, mate. You've been working hard, you need it. And then send you off in the direction of a food bank. And when you came back, there'd be like a mannequin in your place doing the job of a living statue 1,000 times better than you ever could. And Boris Johnson would just turn around to you and go, immigrants, what are you going to do? Huh? I need some honesty from people. People just to tell it how it is, right? Even today, I'm really frightened to even just have a discussion with some friends in case I easily offend them and conjure up childhood memories and they have to pay like an extra $100 at therapy that week. Listen, I don't want my honesty being someone else's financial burden. Just tell me how it is. Stop sugarcoating stuff. I can take it. But people are too scared to do that, right? Because it's too real, right? It's too much on reality. And in fairness, we've always tried to disguise reality as some sort of fantasy, right? Disneyland, perfect example. A place where dreams come true and you can meet your like childhood TV characters in real life. And it's all fun and games at Disneyland, right? Until reality seeps in. Until you see a guy dressed as Simba holding his head under his arms, drinking whiskey from a brown paper bag. And he's got like encrusted scabs on his knuckles from street fighting from the night before, just waving people onto the Indiana Jones ride. You're at the wrong ride, Simba. Disneyland is so far from reality that not even death exists there. Did you know if you die at Disneyland, you have to be in the parking lot to be pronounced dead? That's not what it's about. That's not what reality is. In my opinion, quite frankly, children should be exposed to a little bit of mortality at a young age, right? Imagine it. There's a guy, obese, he's walking under the Disney castle, and Mickey Mouse pops out from a bush and shouts, "Hello!" And all of a sudden, he clutches his chest and falls to the ground, and Mickey Mouse is like panicking, smoking 20 fags, while Goofy comes over and is giving chest compressions and mouth to mouth. Meanwhile, Minnie Mouse is taking full advantage of the distraction and having unprotected sex with Donald Duck in the bushes. And Daffy Duck, he's cruising around the outskirts of Disneyland like chewing people's ear off about intellectual property theft. Now that is a Disneyland I want to be a part of. You ever been talking to someone and you're telling them a story and they think the story's boring and they want to yawn, but they don't want you to see them yawn because then they'll think that you think that your story's boring, so they try and stifle the yawn, they try and hide the yawn? and it just looks like they're having a stroke. I mean, just yawn. You ever find the workplace a very stressy place? Everything's very tense and everyone's very rigid, you know?
Did you just say stressy, rigid? This place is the most chill place ever to work. We've got the yoga mats, we get free massages every day.
Yeah, good. For you. Jeez. Okay. The CEO is giving you deadlines, the printer's not working, the photocopier's out of ink. But what you need is a dropper bottle full of 99.9% alcohol, odorless, colourless, 2 drops, and it won't make you forget all your problems in the workplace. Psst, come here. Listen, just before you go, right, I need to tell you about this thing. This stuff here is butterfly PT, right? It's from Thailand. What you do is you put it inside some gin and it stains it purple without affecting the flavour whatsoever. And it's a really cool way to make a gin tonic. Check it out. You just free pour some in. Oops. And then you just add some tonic. Look at that, look at it change. It looks amazing, it's awesome. You've got a quick stir. Gin tonics, easy. See you later.
Excuse me, where can I get myself a drink?